people go free. I guess I'm too blind to see. I'm just trying to help our people go free. I'm just blind to see. I'm too blind. I'm just trying to see people go free. I'm just trying to see. I'm just trying to help our people go free.
I feel like I have to start the show with an electric guitar after all this kick-ass music. And we're rolling in, ladies and gentlemen, rolling going free. How are you all doing tonight? It is a glorious night, is it not? We're going to have a cozy little gathering here, cozy little stream. It's looking wonderful. Everything seems to be up and running right now. Wonderful to see everybody who has joined us. If you would like to financially gift in this brief time that we're going to be together, you may do so over at Entropy at a cost of 15% to you. You may do so over at Odyssey at a cost of 15% to you. I'm motioning that way, even though in space and time, Odyssey could be anywhere. But that direction, my left, your right, is the monitor that has Odyssey on it. I'm actually now surrounded by 1, 2, 3, 4 computers and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 display monitors, so I'm getting a proper dose of radiation. If you would like to financially gift with Cash App, over to my right, your left, you may do so at 0 cost to you, 0% cost to you. In the description below, you will find the URLs for all of those. And otherwise, if you financially gift, your comment or question will absolutely be read. If you would like to just pose a question or comment, please tag me as No White Guilt. If you're worried about your comment or question scrolling away, it's unlikely, but you can head on over to Entropy. URL is in the description, and you can put it in the Tall Kevin or widget, or otherwise known as the question widget, and we will jump right into the big news, the huge news today. U.S. Supreme Court overturns New York handgun law in bitter blow to gun control push. And of course, we never use gun control. That is a meme pathogen, and idiots use it. I mean, and people who are recovering from idiocy. So if you are using the anti-white concept, gun control, you need to stop using it right away. Biden says ruling should trouble us all, as conservative majority, trouble all of those who want to do things to the population that a population might resist. And if they have the means to resist, they may well do so. And so anybody talking like President Mortis, rigor mortis to you, the corpse in chief, anybody talking to you that way, you should immediately think to yourself, what is it that they would like to do, that they are so afraid that I have the right to self-defense? What is up their sleeve? Forget about this talk. Forget about it. That, oh, we're going to keep somebody safe if we just deprive you of all your liberties. For God's sake, pull your head out of your ass. Especially not all ladies, but so many ladies out there. It's like some children get hurt and they're like, oh, it'll be okay. Tyrants show right up. They're like, pat the lady on her shoulder. It'll be okay. Now, if you just give up all of your liberties that just uncountable men, white men, paid for, died for, were maimed for, if you just give up all of those liberties to us, we'll make sure that your little ones are safe. As though they're being honest there. And then the women say what? And the women of both sexes, they say what? Oh, yeah, sure, take all of our liberties. As though much, much worse to little Johnny and little Susie won't happen once you give up your liberties to the kind of people who would take them from you. You know, the person who doesn't a rightful leader, a rightful ruler, doesn't mind that you have the right to self-defense and the tools of self-defense. Keep that in mind. Only those who want to do things to you that you might have recourse to those tools of self-defense. The Supreme Court said, though, of course, that no, you cannot require people to have a good reason to be able to exercise self-defense. The U.S. Supreme Court has opened the door for almost all law-abiding Americans to carry concealed and loaded handguns in public. Oh my gosh. After the conservative majority struck down a New York law that placed strict restrictions on firearms outside the home. And this is coming from the anti-white Guardian. The governor of New York, a Democrat, said the ruling was, quote, not just reckless, it's reprehensible. They can't do anything they want, right, to us. What a Democrat turd, anti-white bastard. It's reprehensible that we can't just take away the hard-earned rights that the Creator gives us, but we have to give our lives in heaping, stinking mounds of dead, decaying, and maimed flesh for. What a dishonor. Everybody out there, think about this. Everyone out there, every time you have endorsed something like this to give up hard-won liberties, you are disgracing all of the people who gave everything to earn those liberties for us. Think about that. And in how many times in human affairs throughout history have things been done that have actually been noble and heroic? Just look at what happens today. What do countries do today? How often are the acts of countries noble? How often are they heroic? How often do they angle at giving mankind what mankind inherits as a theory, at least, and in some case a faith, from a creator or from nature? How often does that happen? So you think about it, it's probably like 99.9% of the time, humanity is dominated by tyrants who are serving their self-interests. And it's just gross, self-interested slaughter by the hundreds of millions, right? And I guess you don't know their names, so they don't matter, I guess. But in this case, you had people die and get slaughtered and lose limbs and have their whole lives wrecked, on and on and on, for something potentially more noble, or at least as noble as anything else that's been done on planet Earth. And here you have people in the United States and other countries across the West who have a greasy, disgusting, lying, sophistical bastard politician get up before them and say, oh, so a psychotic person went to, if we're in the UK, a psychotic person took some cutlery and went to the subway, stabbed a bunch of people. Well, listen up here, ladies of both sexes. If you just let us take away the right to have cutlery, unless you have a good excuse to have it, then everybody will be safe. Folks, the guillotine is coming. How many more times are you going to give up some hard-won liberty so that you can, in the moment, feel cozy about the prospects for little Johnny or little Susie? These are much better men and women than the vast majority out there coming back from the dead to ensure that you keep the right of self-defense. And every one of you who would bend a knee to a tyrant is a disgusting, just vermin, just cur in the face of those heroes. You should own it too. The governor of New York, a traitor to the United States of America, a Democrat, and therefore traitor to the United States of America, said the ruling was not just reckless, it's reprehensible, pointing to recent mass shootings in New York and Texas. There you have it. There you have it. Crazy people did despicable things, and so therefore the hard-won liberties have to be taken away from all the law-abiding people, as though these crazy people won't still be able to do despicable, disgusting, reprehensible things. Of course they will. Every day they're doing them. Far more people are getting killed with hatchets, Far more people are being murdered with cars. Far more people are being just killed with the hands of their insane assailant. Joe Biden, it's just all this demagoguery when it comes to these politicians, Republican and Democrat alike. Just demagoguery. Just the moment, oh, you're scared, let us take something from you. Boy, we really need somebody to go with a broom of fire into a statesman, not a politician, to go with a broom of fire, metaphorical broom of fire into Washington, D.C. and clean house. Not a businessman talking about a swamp. You're not draining any swamp, buddy. Joe Biden said, quote, this ruling contradicts both common sense and that he doesn't have any idea what common sense is. He wasn't born with any. He wasn't born with any sense at all. Can't even keep his balance on a bicycle. And the Constitution and should deeply trouble us all. So it contradicts common sense and the contradiction. What a lying and what a reckless, irresponsible thing for a corpse in chief to say to the nation about the ruling of the Supreme Court. That's calling into question the legitimacy of the Supreme Court, is it not? Shouldn't he be impeached for that? Where are the Republicans who should be stepping forward to impeach this old bastard? To call, what is it, Article, 25? What is it? What is the thing that Pence could have done that they were begging him to do relative to Trump? To say he's unfit for the job. Clearly, this guy's unfit for the job. So where are the Republicans that pull him out of office so that Kamala can get in there and do a terrible job and the nation can see just how wretched that deception was? That sees both of these incompetent bastards in power in Washington, D.C. Where are the Republicans? Well, I'll tell you where they are. They're under their wives' skirts, or they are trying to get under the skirts of children. That's where the Republicans are. So nothing but a bunch of cowards. Not every one of them, just nearly every one of them. Cowards where they feel at all the views of those who voted for them. The vast majority do not. The vast majority of Republicans in office have lied to you to get you to vote for them, and then they forget you. And then they will vote the way that the power holders want until it gets close to election time again. Then they'll stop voting and they'll start making big speeches again so that they can get your money and get your vote. That's what a Republican is today. On the left, outrage is growing over the court's rightward march. It isn't, once again, this is the anti-whites defining the court, but this is how it actually works. This is how actually, unfortunately, those who are conservative-minded or patriot-minded don't view the courts this way. They think that you have a hard reading of the law written by the legislators, put in place by the people of the United States, and that they have to obey it. They can't go beyond it. And you see that there are these, what are referred to as activist judges, that are anti-white, Democrat, I'm sure just about every single one of them, but anti-white, every single one of them. And they will actually say, in fact, there might be one on the Supreme Court right now who actually said at a, college commencement ceremony, said, oh, we legislate from the bench. Absolutely illegal. So if we did have conservatives, patriotic justices that would legislate from the bench, things would get a lot better real fast. Earlier this week, the court handed down a ruling which attacked the separation of church and state. As soon as Friday, it is expected to undermine or remove the right to abortion. Let's check that out really quickly. Sotomayor accuses Supreme Court conservatives of dismantling church state separation. What's this say? The liberal justice Sonia has warned that the U.S. court is dismantling the wall between church and state after conservative majority ruled that the state of Maine cannot exclude religious schools from a tuition program. In a dissent to the ruling in Carson versus Macon, released on Tuesday, Sonia wrote, "This court continues to dismantle the wall." So in other words, if you are not persecuting white people by way of the religion that most white people practice, which is Christianity, then you are dismantling the separation of church. What? Talk about reprehensible. Talk about an irresponsible thing for a Supreme Court justice to say, because you're not in any conceivable way dismantling the separation of church and state. Back to as soon as Friday, it is expected to undermine or remove the right to abortion, guaranteed since 73, and to reduce the federal government's ability to cut emissions contributing to the climate crisis. So, in other words, I mean, you have, and I am an ardent lover and protector of the environment. And if things are being done that are damaging the environment, I'm absolutely 100% against it, because we have to live in the environment. We, as Western kind, we love planet Earth. We love our natural environment and the wildlife that lives therein. Having said that, we can maintain the environment. It can be nice and pristine, and our neighborhoods can be pristine, and our families pristine. We can maintain these things and not destroy millions upon tens of millions of working class people's livelihoods by putting the businesses that they work for out of business with onerous EPA regulations and lawsuits and etc. The New York law struck down on Thursday required anyone wanting to carry a handgun in public to prove that they had a proper cause to do so. Really, who got to decide whether or not your life was valuable enough to have self-defense? Think about that. Just really, and if you're the kind of person that says, well, somebody should have the right, well, then I take your right away. I have decided that you do not have the right to your life or to the wholeness of your being. You could be maimed, you could be murdered, and you can't defend yourself. How does that sound now? You happy? No, you see, you're only happy with it when you can deprive it to a white male or white woman or white family. That's the only time you're happy with it, who are not anti-white. They're not anti-white enough. So then you're happy to take away their right to self-defense. So the moment you say that it's okay to take away their right to self-defense or decide whether or not their lives are valuable enough, then I decide that your life is not valuable enough for you to be able to legally protect it. Case closed. The decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin renders the law an unconstitutional violation of the Second Amendment right to bear arms. In his ruling, Justice Thomas wrote, quote, apart from a few late 19th century outlier jurisdictions, American governments simply have not broadly prohibited the carry of commonly used firearms for personal defense, nor have they generally required law-abiding, responsible citizens to demonstrate a special need for self-protection, distinguishable from that of the general community, to carry arms in public. The New York law, Thomas wrote, also violated the 14th Amendment, which made Second Amendment rights applicable to the states. Biden pointed to the longevity of the New York gun law. We've been breaking the law for so long. How can you overturn it now? Biden said. Since 1911, the New York state has required individuals who would like to carry a concealed weapon in public to show a need to do so for the purpose, which meant that virtually no one, had the right to defend themselves. You just had to just give yourself over to your rapist or your attacker, your maimer, your murderer. How many lives have been lost as a consequence of these Democrat anti-white, of this Democrat anti-white policy in the state of New York? How many times would people have been able to defend themselves from someone who was also carrying a firearm, or someone who was carrying a knife, or someone who was just much more bigger and stronger and malicious and malevolent? You know, even if a woman is 80 years old and her attacker is 6'7", 250 pounds of raw muscle and dim-witted, caged animal menacing brutality, if she pulls out even a 22 revolver, the tables are even. Think about that. But you took it away from her. You took it away from her. You said she had to prove to some Democrat judge somewhere that she had a need. And since she was a little old white woman, that, I don't know, Democrat judge somewhere, maybe related to a billionaire anti-white, non-white woman who said, there's some white people who just have to die. And all those white people still love that anti-white wretched bitch. Biden added, as the late conservative Justice Scalia recognized, the Second Amendment is not absolute. For centuries, states have regulated who may purchase or possess weapons, the types of weapons they may use. All of this, of course, is sleight of hand. God, look at the face of this rigor mortis. So I call on Americans across this country to make their voices heard on gun safety. Lives are on the line. Lives have been lost. People have been murdered. People have been beaten to death. People have been maimed. People have been raped, male and female, because they were unable to defend themselves because of people like this, who surround themselves with armed guards. What do you think about them now? Boy, there's got to be a house cleaning, doesn't there? The beautiful thing here is that the court has struck down this illegal law in the state of New York. You may now carry a firearm, and it may well be the case that you don't even need a concealed carry permit at this time, because there isn't a policy there for that. But check it out for yourself to see if that is indeed the case. What this also does, though, is it knocks down those similar or analogous laws, such as we have here in Washington, D.C., across the country. So no longer, I wonder when my father was, and my uncle, not by marriage or blood, but by longevity. I wonder when they were shot by two anti-white non-whites, I wonder if they would have been able to defend themselves had they had a firearm or two of their own. But of course, in DC, you couldn't have them because you had to prove to some anti-white Democrat that as a white man, your life is important enough to defend. But this has overturned that. It is a massive victory, and we should be celebrating this. There are so many defeats every time we turn around in our world. Every time we turn around, there's another insolent anti-white attack that ends up in some sort of victimization of our people, of our civilization, ends up in white erasure every time we turn around. And this would have opened the door to the requirement all across the country, because immediately the Democrats, anti-whites, and anti-white Republicans would have gone along with it immediately to implement the same sort of law from coast to coast, north to south. It would have been, we're going to decide whether or not your life is valuable enough for you to be able to defend it. And I want also to speak to these people who are sort of fellow travelers of mine who would argue, no, Jason, it's not about self-defense. It's about, and then they read, right out of the Constitution. Please don't bore me with that. Self-defense is your ability to defend yourself from a rapist, a murderer. It's also your ability to defend yourself against law enforcement who have been illegally sent by a tyrant, military that has been legally sent by a tyrant. Self-defense is the kernel of what it is. It is clearly what the individuals who wrote that into the Constitution were thinking. The ability of the individual in its aggregate to defend him or herself, and therefore, ergo, them or themselves, will protect them from a tyrannical government. And it went without saying at that time that the individual could protect him or herself or his or her family from an attack of vagabonds or whatever what have you. Today, however, we have to speak to people who don't quite get it because they've grown up in a nursery room. You have to deal with things as they are around you. And white people, I'm really getting sick and tired of you opening up some sort of rule book. I've been dealing with this for 3 decades in the white sympathetic sphere, opening up a rule book and saying, but the rules, your rules, all right? Welcome. We got to deal with reality. And if you're too dumb, then you need to get it. If you can't figure it out on your own, then you need to submit yourself to what works and those who do understand. Does that make sense? Stop coming into this. If folks show up and they're like, I've been thinking about this for 27 minutes. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for 27 years. All right? So enough. Big victory here. Big victory. The reverse would have been horrific. It would have been absolutely horrific. None of us would have our lives deemed valuable enough. If you're white and you're just not hardcore anti-white, your life wouldn't have been valuable enough to be allowed to defend. Not only that, there's another positive here. We have this gun bill moving forward. By the way, all of you Republican voters out there, I want you to look at Mitch McConnell. I'm positive he is a corpse. I'm positive he is a corpse. I'm kidding, of course, but he's still a corpse. They got him from the morgue, and he's been dead a long time. And I don't know how they marionette him, but there's got to be strings somewhere. But McConnell and the rest of them, of these Republicans, there's a slew of Republicans going along with this anti-self-defense bill. And you in Kentucky and South Carolina and Texas and all these places voted for them. Not because you wanted your right to self-defense taken away. So if you are in any of these states where any of these Republicans now are voting and endorsing this bill that will strip people of their right to self-defense without due process, known as red flag laws, you need to make it a life's mission to revenge yourselves on these lying bastards. You gave them one vote or two, or how many times you voted for these people in the past. Make sure that for every one you gave, you prevent them from getting 100. You campaign against them. Put somebody else in charge. I was saying on Jason Goes Political, there's a battle here for the soul, not of the Republican Party, for the soul and identity, not directly of the Republican Party, obliquely, yes, but for the identity and soul of the resistance to the anti-white Democrats. And if you continue to put your faith and money and time into Republicans like Mitch McConnell, you are working for the enemy. And therefore you are the enemy. You are a destroyer of everything you care about. The wonderful thing here is that it may make it more difficult to push this bill through to law, seeing the willingness of the Supreme Court to act in favor of the Constitution and much better men, white men, than we have today. Certainly better than the white men and white women we have today. Much better. Who put these things down into the Constitution, and as a consequence, they rise from the grave and protect your lame asses, your ungrateful, ignoble lame asses out there today. And people seriously, I get too that, I mean, nobody's perfect. The founding fathers aren't perfect. I get it. They got a lot wrong too, but they got a lot right. And it is absolutely incomprehensible when somebody slanders the shit out of these guys that time and again have risen from the grave in this form and saved your lily white ass from oblivion. Now, the other piece of big news, huge, absolutely epic is that we all have known and loved Mark Dice so far for his willingness not to be white sympathetic or white positive, but to stand up as a good person against anti-whiteism, the force that is destroying America, the force that is destroying all of Western civilization. This guy has some huge balls because he's a big time content creator, millions of followers. He influences easily several million. And here this guy is. And how is this happening, by the way? How has this guy who is demonstrating real heroism, how is he in a place now to demonstrate that heroism? It's because we've had epic champions in service to white well-being like JK160 and others who have been talking to this guy in his life, finally get his attention and say, hey man, you should take a look at this. You're a reasonable person, take a look at this. And he is a reasonable person. He's an upstanding guy. He's obviously got great character. And as a consequence, we have this, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. I mean, seriously, Joy Reid is probably literally one of the most racist people in America. And again, every time we're talking about anti-white racism, we really should use the word anti-whiteism to be clear, because people have been wrongfully conditioned when they hear the word racism to automatically think that it's a one-way street. It's something that only white people do to non-white people. People really need to make anti-whiteism part of the public lexicon, especially when talking about CRT, critical race theory. Just call it what it is. It's anti-whiteism. We really should focus on making that term go viral, being a central part of the Ultra MAGA agenda. And if you're on board, order your Ultra MAGA shirt from
You gotta love that. What an absolute epic champion Mark Dice is. He is telling millions of people to make anti-whiteism go viral. That what people call anti-white racism is anti-whiteism. Stop calling it that. Call it what it is, anti-whiteism. Now, it's going viral. It's showing up all over the place. We've gotten anti-white to show up places that it has never shown up before. We've gotten to staffers. We've gotten into press rooms. We've gotten anti-whites themselves at the highest levels in different Western countries around the world to use anti-white. Nobody has done anything like that. This community punches so high above its weight. And one of the reasons why is that, number one, our focus is on love, hope, and redemption. It's on protecting Western kind and Western civilization from the harm that anti-whites inflict on us and it, our creation, Western civilization, which wonderful people of all immutable characteristics can participate in and contribute to and have. And we celebrate them for that. That creation being destroyed for them as well as anti-whites take the flag of anti-whiteism to every single contest, including this one contest that we just won. The attempt to abridge further your right to self-defense by having a judge, a Democrat judge, some anti-white functionary somewhere tell you your life isn't valuable enough for you to be able to defend it. Because we are of that mind frame, because I have been right, and therefore wonderful people have shown up who are also right and who can see the writing on the wall, because this is our genuine heart, because this is who we really are, because our mission is for all peoples around the world, something that everybody can look at, all good people, intellectually honest folks can look at and say, that is a noble endeavor. Because we are that way, we can attract other heroes from out in the hinterland, if you will. And that's what we have done with this sterling, charactered individual. He's able to step forward and say, yes, that's obviously what's happening. It's anti-white. Their ideology is obviously anti-whiteism. We're never going to get people to understand that until they use the name of that ideology. How long did this guy have to be exposed to anti-whiteism before he got it? I want you to now wonder, ask for it seriously. How is it that there are so many leaders, content creators, etc., in the white sympathetic sphere that have been exposed to Jason Kuna, exposed to my ideas for decades and are still not using these things? Jealousy, ego in the way. Well, Mark Dice is fabulously successful. He obviously doesn't have to feel jealousy over me. No one should, by the way. We should all be on as I engage in this struggle, and as I say, be the struggle, folks. Embrace the struggle. As I engage in it as a team effort, that is how this guy has stepped forward. There will be more because of him. There will be more because of the work we're doing. Yeah, we're going to turn away a lot of losers in the process. There are going to be self-serving jackasses that are out there on social media platforms making themselves tons of money, and they will stick with whatever it is so they can be in their intelligence or their looks or whatever. They can just self-aggrandize from dawn till dusk and all through the night, and then pad their way from east to west coast and back again with $100 bills under their asses. There are going to be folks like that. We don't want them anyhow. We want people who are good folks, because those are the people who are going to triumph in the end. There's a lot of talk given to, well, the good are going to win. The good are going to be the triumphant. Well, you've got to be good. You've got to actually be a hero by the standards of Western kind, by what we consider to be heroic. To be, you have to be it. You have to live it to be it. And then if you live it, you will attract others who have it within inside of them. Those will be the people who are able to go the distance. And so I really salute. Let's get a bunch of 07s for Mark Dice and some raucous emojis for that champion. What a hero. What a guy with a good character. He doesn't have to have anything to do, and as far as I know, has nothing to do with the white sympathetic sphere or anything white positive. He can just see what is the destroying element, the destroying force in Western civilization. And because he's a good person, he feels a calling to put it down. You know where that story takes place? Do you know where that part of the story takes place? In our book, where we're the heroes. You're not going to find it out in the anti-white narrative. You're not going to find that part of the tale. You're not going to find those sentences and those paragraphs about how the good, the noble, the heroic show up to do battle with the malevolent force that is destroying Western civilization, anti-whiteism. Where's Mark Dice? What story is he in now? Jason, you can't just make up your own story. You can't do it. You can't do it, Jason. Well, I fucking did, jackasses. I fucking did. And there are bigger people, better looking people, smarter people, wealthier people, people with bigger reach every day coming to it. So I fucking did. And I don't expect, since everybody who said that sort of thing, everybody who said you can't do it, you can't make up your own story, you can't have people use your own concepts. It just can't be done. I know all of you, your characters are bad, they're black, and you're not going to turn away from that. So there'll be no apologies. There'll be no messages to yours truly. But to all of you folks, you champions out there, we are doing it. This is an enormous victory. And it should be celebrated across, not only in the white positive sphere here with us, it should be celebrated across the totality of the white sympathetic sphere. Crickets. Yeah, exactly. Let's get to a couple pieces of announcement here. I will be doing on Sunday, and I'll be taking a look at your comments and or financial gifts. On Sunday, I will be doing but I guess I will be doing a fundraiser stream for raising funds for Gab advertisements, which we did spectacularly at the last time I ran Gab advertisements. Well better than like Coca-Cola and all the big companies. Nike never did that good in a passive advertisement, nowhere close. We'll be raising funds to run advertisements on Gab for the new show, Jason Goes Political. We're still in that first 10 series, and if we get enough interest, we'll go longer. Maybe we'll stick with the show. I'd like to do that because a lot of people are interested in the political, my political views and what we might be able to do in a new approach, I guess I should say, to dealing with politics in America today. But so the way this will work is I will have certain dollar amounts. So I'll do the normal 4-hour show, and then I'll have on Sunday, then I'll have a certain dollar amount, which if it's hit, I'll go for another 2 hours. And then another dollar amount, if it's hit, I'll go for another 2. And I will do that all the way up for 24 hours. If we get to 24 hours, that's great. If we don't get enough to go beyond 4 hours, then whatever we get, we'll go toward the Gab advertising if we can still make it happen. So Fundraiser, let your buddies know that we'll be doing a fundraiser. I won't be taking off any clothing for financial gifts. I might do that in the future, but seriously, but not this time. Won't be taking off any clothing this time. Might be pay per piece of clothing coming off in the future, but this time it's going to be fundraiser for Gab advertising for the Jason Goes Political show, and hopefully that'll bring in a lot of attention for, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll switch over to the Jason Goes Political studio after going free. Maybe I'll think about it. Give me your thoughts in the thread below. In the thread, you can put it in the live chat now, but if I miss it, then copy and paste it into the thread under this video, and hope to raise enough finances to have some good time up on Gab and bring a bunch of people's awareness to Jason Goes Political so we can make a big difference. I think people will be very interested. I know people are interested. When I begin talking about the kinds of things that I would do politically, folks are always astonished. They're like, oh my God, that really could remedy things. And wow, no, I would never have thought that somebody could do. That's just maybe it's the way that I come at things because I started so young. I don't know, but maybe because I understand human nature well, and I understand the political machine well, and I would never play the game of those bastards, or the sort of that inner ring of those who are just beyond these political vultures and these political creatures. There's a ring of like Con Inc. and then anti-white organizations and alternative conservative organizations, and they all have like this game they play. It's despicable, and it's not going to go anywhere. But what they do is they keep their audience on the hook always. It's always about keeping the audience on the hook and giving more money and giving more adulation. It's despicable. And my character prevents me from doing anything like that. I can't. I absolutely can't. I would, if I were on, and I talk about this on Jason Goes Political, not so much on Going Free, like this Roland Going Free, but you know damn well that when I say that if Pelosi were having a little press conference up in the Capitol and she's talking about doing something despicable, I would have no qualm about walking right up and taking the microphone away and telling the people what they need to hear about the bitch. You know it. So things would be very different, and I would be recruiting the folks needed to make a difference, rather than shaking hands with everybody and trying to be everybody's buddy and do business deals with them. We'll both come away from here win-win. That. No, I'm going to put the anti-whites in the loser category for the rest of their lives. That's how this works. There's no win-win. In business, where Trump was, there's win-win. Wrote a whole book about win-win. Winning the deal, how to win the deal. They only put somebody in sort of the loser category. They only put people in the decimated, never heard from again category when they're already nobodies, and then they can go brag about it. You know, the anti-whites have to be dealt with that way. I don't give a damn how powerful they are. The day is going to come when there's going to be somebody like that. So we have to step up. So be with us on Sunday. And if you would like to see advertising on Gab for Jason Goes Political, bring some dollars with you, whether they are Canadian bacon dollars or hoppin' dollars from Australia or pounds from the UK, whatever it is, bring them with you if you would like to see advertising for Jason Goes Political on Gab. And we'll see how long we go. We'll have some fun. Also wanted to mention, yes, I did get a confirmation that once again we are being endlessly attacked by anti-whites. Something is not copacetic over at what is it? What is the platform called? Gumroad is what it's called. And European Man, a great supporter and service to white well-being, has confirmed to me that they arbitrarily canceled his contributions to me. And so what I said last Sunday was, if you are a contributor to yours truly, you financially gift me by way of Gumroad, make sure that they are still taking the sum that you wanted given to me out of your checking account or off of your credit card or whatever it might be. Because what they've been doing is just arbitrarily severing the connection with those who are financially gifting me at Gumroad. And then the gifts stop coming and it just lays fallow until I catch it. So I brought this up on Sunday, and then sure as shit, we have European Man says, brother, while it could be a glitch, I doubt it. He has a screenshot here that I haven't taken a look at, but he says, not one payment has ever been missed. We'll attempt to reschedule and see how that goes. Failing that, what is your preferred portal for financial gifting? Well, if you are in the United States and you're talking about like a one-time financial gift, it is Cash App. I don't think it goes beyond the United States. The alternative, of course, is Subscribe Star. And the link for that will be in the description below. So you could use Subscribe Star if you want to just automatically financially gift me and not have to think about it at all. I am deeply grateful for everybody who does that. And something that might be smart for some folks to do is you might have like maybe a smaller financial gift on a place like Gumroad, and then the fuller financial gift on Subscribe Star to mix it up some. You don't have to do that. You don't have Subscribe Star is working, and Cash App works beautifully. Gumroad has been anti-whites over there at Gumroad, just trying to do their thing, I guess. And I have a complaint with them to find out what the hell is going on. Why have they been arbitrarily severing the connection with people who want to financially gift me? I'm not doing it. So thank you very much, European Man, for getting back to me about that. And thank you for trying again over there at Gumroad. Let's see. Let's force their hand. But every now and again, if you are financially gifting by way of Gumroad, keep an eye on it. Make sure that the sum that you would like to come to me is actually being taken from your credit card or your checking account, that they have not severed that connection and you are not financially gifting anymore. There's a whole slew of people that we're financially gifting on Gumroad, and I'm certain that are unaware that Gumroad has stopped taking anything from their checking or credit card accounts for a long time. It just looks like on my end, it just looks like, well, they decided to stop financially gifting. And some of them undoubtedly will have. And others, well, as you can see here, they did not. So thank you very much. It's very important, folks. We also want to celebrate Tim Fox Cordell, because he has made a brand new video that we will use here on Going Free from time to time, like many others. Let's get an 07 and some raucous emojis for Tim Fox Cordell, he worked with this video over and over to make sure it was just right, he said, and we really appreciate him. And let's have a look. Definitely has a great groove to it. Fantastic. Well done, Tim. Big salute to you. Thank you so much for making that video. I know it wasn't an easy start to finish, but it turned out beautifully. Thank you all for celebrating it as well. Let's get to some of these comments quickly, and I'll get to whatever comments that you have on entropy or where else. Yiz said here, I vote NWG because Go Free method is usable by everyone and comfortably adapts to all situations. You can use the Go Free method to no matter what ethnicity, religion, or socioeconomic class you are to dispel the anti-white lies crippling the West. Can't say that for, and then she names another method. JK 160, going free is the only thing that'll work. Using old symbols and hating other groups has zero chance of reaching the masses. Advocating for the well-being of white people is something everybody can do. Well said to both of you. Nathan Lentini, Jason, you are on fire lately, my man. These shorts are brilliant. If 50% of whites listened to any one of these minute-long videos, our destiny would be in hand again. For me, it really feels like we are teaching whites basic, natural survival instincts again. Do you want to live or not? Is what it's coming down to. Nathan Lentini, thank you so much, brother. The great Reptile wrote here, imagine a future where the education of our children includes the psychological defense against the psychological warfare being waged against them. Brant is truly carrying the Western sunrise upon his shoulders. Let's celebrate this champion and give him a hand. Absolutely. A big 07 for Brant and for Reptile for acknowledging him, both of them champions. Roscoe says, Jason, I have a huge admiration for what you're doing. Keep fighting. We'll keep supporting you. I just bought Go Free. Cheers, brother. Well, cheers to you, and thank you so much, good sir. Our dear lady, I love Jesus Christ, writes, this is really good. Thank you, Jesus, for no white guilt. What a gift we have in Jason. God bless you, sister. That is wonderful. That is a really, really wonderful thing to say. And I had to share that. Thank you. We have Nathan Lentini back again. He writes, right on the money. The West is a wild, lawless, anti-white land. No white guilt for any office. Let's get him in there. Jason will do more on the first day than the businessman did in 4 years. Cheers to Yiz the eunuch, a real hero indeed. Well, a real hero to the both of them. Thank you for acknowledging our dear sister and champion, Yiz, Nathan Lentini. We have the great Groundhog Fury, ladies and gentlemen, a guy who does the artwork that you see up on the wall, the desktop, if you will, the background, if you will, before we get started, all the Prometheus stuff, so much of it done by the great Groundhog Fury, a true champion and hero in service, and we love that guy to death. He writes, wow, for Null did a really impressive job. He's talking about the studio for Jason Goes Political. He writes on, great stuff. Did you paint the whole room, including the PC green, Jason? Pretty much. I'll have to talk to you. I don't know if I should. I think I should probably just talk to you in private, brother, about it rather than reveal the secrets. It's pretty intense. What I did to do a lot of testing, actually, to make it a lot of experiments. And I shared all of that with Fernald. Fernald made the studio. It's beautiful. But we had to do a lot of experiments to make that work. But yeah, I will happily tell you. And thank you so much for... There's another champion acknowledging another champion in service to white well-being. It's the way it's got to be, folks. We're team players. WWLTD writes, the only white guilt I ever feel is when I fail to click onto one of your longer form videos. Time being as precious as it is for me these days, the more compact videos you have posted as of late are a real power boost level up for me. Thank you. Keep the faith. And forward ho. Yes, indeed. Forward ho. That's what you say to her in the bed sometimes, right? Stuart Maxwell writes here, regarding your comments about construction sites at around 1 hour, 43 minutes, 15 seconds, I frequently see women standing around holding a clipboard while the men do all the physical work. The clipboard approach must be their new effort to sexually diversify construction sites. Also, they seem to be hiding buildings under construction behind a huge envelope of white plastic, hiding the men working inside. Thanks for your passion and commitment, Jason. Stuart, you're right. You're seeing all of these jobs, the easier jobs. I've worked blue collar, very physical blue collar jobs. We'll probably have to again in life. And the easier jobs are in those environments are the ones that it's sort of like you have a sort of a hellish, physically difficult day every single day. And then if you're friendly and you've been friends with the boss and you're friends with everybody there, every now and again, you might get lucky enough to get picked for one of these easier jobs. It was sort of like a reward, like a perquisite you got. You always come to work on time. You always leave late. And everything. Well, okay, you can be the person today who does X. But now, of course, you see, yes, indeed, Stuart is right. They're giving these jobs to females on the basis of sex. Not in every case, but in many cases. And I know some women in construction that absolutely deserve to be there. No shit. But if you deserve to be there, that's one thing. If you're there because you were not born with a penis, then that is despicable because you are displacing a white man and men in general, but a white man who would have the job and be able to potentially have a family, but he can't now because you get to be a diversity at the job site. Also, the hiding of people behind the plastic. It's true. The result is that you don't see all of the laborers laboring away. And then that makes it easy to romanticize. And you see these commercials. You see these commercials on TV, these anti-white commercials where they're like, girls can do anything. And like these girls that don't work on cars, these actresses. And because a girl or two who works on cars. Or girls who don't swing hammers because a girl or two that can actually swing a hammer. Very different people. But it'll be like this team of dancing actresses and they'll have like fake hammers and they'll be like, woo, go girl, we're going to get on the construction site. And then it'll be like a bunch of men looking at them like, my God, I didn't know they could do so well at the construction. No, dancing actors. I mean, there's one right now that it's about how, what's this commercial about? Something about women in the workforce or something, and it's some non-white, probably anti-white actress dancing up an escalator that is a coming down escalator, I guess, to try to demonstrate things are so much harder for her. Bullshit. The entire system is rigged to benefit anti-whites of any race and females who are anti-white. It's totally rigged for them. But it's only, of course, benefiting them as an accident because it's targeted at victimizing Western kind, specifically men of the West. So these are collateral beneficiaries. So the whole system. So she's, and I thought, the commercial's meant to say, well, things are so much harder for her. And actually, I was thinking, you know what? It's actually just, she's so stupid. Maybe that's the problem. She's trying to go up the down escalator. Maybe if she went up the up escalator, she'd get hired. Unmapped Insights writes here, I subbed recently and really enjoy the content /comedy. Well, thank you so much for that, brother. Great to see that you are now among the AP class, the advanced placement, where we are doing the Lord's work, Prometheus's work. And I think that's all we have here. So we just crossed the hour mark. I'm going to see what you all are saying. We'll check if there are any financial gifts first. Those people will have their comments or questions read without question. And we have, let's see over here. Okay, we didn't miss anybody on Cash App. And over here on Entropy, we have Slots at $3 financial gift. God bless you, brother. True champion. Always love seeing Slots. He writes here, need a compilation of Tucker, Torba, and Mark Dice saying anti-white, anti-whiteism alongside clips of you saying it as a trailer. If I had the time, he writes. Yes, wouldn't that be something? Torba, Mark Dice, and Tucker using anti-white, anti-whiteism. Wow. Alongside yours truly, and therefore me representing all of us. Only one. I mean, how many people can you have on a camera at one time? But me representing all of us here in the hard work that we're doing, and the effects of that. All right, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate $3 financial gift. And looks like we are blank over on Odyssey. Didn't miss anybody there, so that is good to see. We have, as you can see, folks, an aerial view of Washington, D.C. tonight, courtesy of the Magic Window. And we're so grateful for the Magic Window. I'm going to take a look. It doesn't look like we have any comments tagging me on Odyssey. See about D Live. No. I don't see any tags for me on D Live. So I will check now on YouTube, and then we will roll out. And we are, Jared George and I are looking to have tap hopefully tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, Sunday, and potentially a 24-hour stream there. We'll see. We'll see how much people want to see advertisements for Jason Goes Political on Gab, and trying to drive more traffic. I know there's a lot of MAGA folks on Gab. There's a lot of different folks, but I think they would be potentially interested, wouldn't they? I need to get, you know what I need to get? I just remembered. I need to get a video of like a MAGA flag maybe to fly from time to time on one of the televisions behind me in that epic studio that I worked on for quite a few hours the other night, because I want to be able to put up clips, No White Guilt clips. He said, hey, we just like both of us thinking at the same thing at the same time. He reached out and he's like, hey, can you put the articles that you're looking at up on the TVs behind you? And I was like, I'm working on that right now, actually. It's kind of like where what is it? How did that phrase go back in the day? Two bodies, one brain. I think that's what it was. MAGA flag. And if you have any suggestions for What could we put up on the televisions, especially something that could really attract those who are patriotic, those who are might consider themselves MAGA types. What might they be looking for that we could put up on the TVs over the course of the shows on Jason Goes Political? So just writing that down. All right. Let's see. The great Jerome is here. The very lovely Ladybug is here. How are you doing, young lady? Are you having a good time with your friends, hanging out here in the live chat? Big smile jumping across your face right now. Yeah, I know you. Shauna Shaw is here. Great to see you, sister. There's Lockie from Down Under. Hello, brother. High Speed Drifter is Art Acrobat. So Unmapped Insights is here. Great to see you. Popcorn Power, wonderful. He says, what is NWG going to do come St. Paddy's Day with the green screen? Well, my friend, thank you for asking that question. I'm going to have to figure that out. Let's see. I have an idea right now. And if I can make that work, I don't know if I will. God, I'm so busy. Got work, got working out, got eating, got sleeping. I've cut back on the sleeping as much as possible. I've got working on the tech side of, still wrapping up the sound tech side of the audio book to get that just right so that we really reach a lot of people with it. I think we will. Then there's all the stuff with the studio. It's just a lot of stuff. But yeah, that would be, we'll see. Freedom Dago is here. The great Franklin is here. Great to see you, brother. Promethean Promulgation. Great to see you. Bros and Bros. Hello, hello. And Kingdom of Inland. And how do you pronounce the Lakeva? It's here. Hello and welcome. And Kingdom of the Son of God. Hello and welcome. Great to see you. Athos is here. Remember, folks, you got to tag me as No White Guilt if you want to get my attention with a statement or a comment or question, rather. Never felt guilty. Great to see you. Thank you for everybody for showing up in our cozy stream, Apollo. I'll remember you all come the nationwide cullings. So just keep that in mind. I'll remember. I'll say, no, that one can be taken out of line. Bring them over here. Light of the Twin Lamps. That's a cool name. Great to see you. Bell Curve. And thank you all for celebrating. Jack is here. Hello. Hello to everybody who is just hanging out in the background, not participating in the live chat. Yeah, you. Yeah, you're pointing at yourself right now. I'm talking about you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Ursa Major. See, we'll really be able to hang out just like the old days when I used to do like the 8, 10, 12-hour streams. Remember those good old days? We'll really be able to hang out, tell stories. I will dazzle you with things I should not be sharing. You know what? Maybe to get you to show up, I will have at some point in that stream, like I will figure out how many. I'll make it fair. I mean, but I want to entice people, right? So many hours into this fundraising stream this coming Sunday, we should give it a name. Should we give it a name? Name the fundraiser stream? If you have a suggestion for a name, put it in the thread below, even if you put it in the live stream now. But maybe I will bring Carlisle on, and I will have her tell you all the story. Well, we could tell. She and I went to the gym and worked out, and that was fun. And so don't tell the story now. But I know she shared a little bit, I think, of it in one live stream in the just commenting. the live chat, about seeing a groundhog and baby groundhogs, but did she share the mockingbird? Maybe not. I might have a video of the mockingbird. So if we stay long enough on that stream this coming Sunday, then we'll have her come on. We can talk about that. Maybe I'll share the video if I can find the video of if there is a video, and pictures of groundhogs and baby groundhogs, if there are any, who knows. But I might have her share. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. The time that she and I were on the phone, and I stopped laughing. Katie, stop it. It's Kate, is Carlisle. Stop. She's laughing right now. I know she is. We were on the phone, and I was driving, and I had a little incident. And she was privy to it, but she was not supposed to be privy to it. Do say this, Kate. Was it shocking? Was it surprising? You could say that. You can tempt the folks potentially by telling, I wouldn't do this otherwise, but I'm going to do it for the Jason Goes Political show potentially. Not going to be taking off clothing for money, but I might seriously do that in the future. That is like a more likely to happen than not in the near future. Not in the immediate future, but we'll see. But is it shocking? We'll share, potentially. She was on the phone, and I thought that she couldn't hear. The great Chopin is here. Great to see you, brother. El Soy is here. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Jaffis. I don't know what that request is for. Private life. Hello. Folks, if you have like a question for me or comment or suggestion, or you want to tell me to go back home, I'm sure you would say hell, but you want to tell me that, fine. Tag me. The great Roy Danton is with us. So is Art Acrobats with that account. Great to see you, brother. Catfish is here. Hello. Artificer says, smashing dollars from UK. Well, thank you so much, good brother. You mean for this coming Sunday? What is Kate is writing here? That would work out, because Jason is hoping to have a long marathon stream on Sunday. Yeah, we'll see how much people want to see commercials, ads, passive ads on Gab for Jason Goes Political. And we'll see how badly they want to hear that story about being on the phone with me when something happened. You'll get an insight into yours truly. A lot of people think they know Jason Kuna. They know him. But do you really? Stick around for that story. All right. Promethean Healing. It says, may I speak to comedy? I have some compliments for him. Oh, that's funny. Or complaints for him. That is, you should find like little tidbits of jokes here and there from time to time on my platforms and on the shows that otherwise go without being seen by a lot of folks. So Promethean Healing has some complaints for comedy, wants to speak with him right away. I'll tell him. Thank you for that, brother. Jack, hello to you. Nick, is here. Hello. Jerome tags me here. Being among the heroes and heroines in the wonderful community has lifted my life. Credit No White Guilt for inspiring and guiding the growth of this community. God bless you and thank you, brother. Thank you for being a brilliant star among the heavens of our folk. Magnificent guy. There's Pants Monster. Great to see you, brother. I'm going to get back to you on your email. I saw that. Thank you very much. All right. We just leapt down in the, let's see. Okay, I didn't miss any. White Calling is here. Morba 357 with a jack-o'-lantern face. Hello to you. All right. Victorian Time Traveler says, would be cool to have a picture of a giant prehistoric shark megalodon, except it's megalodon. That's awesome. Megalodon coming through the TV. Well, you've just put the challenge out to the graphics folks in the community. Right now they're thinking, how can I make a megalodon to come like shooting up through the TV in the background? That would be awesome. That's cool. Victorian Time Traveler idea. Hamilton, hello to you and welcome. Morb says, I'd pay Destiny $7,000 to debate No White Guilt just to watch him fall. He won't. Oh, yes, I would destroy him. I would absolutely destroy him. Yeah, don't waste your money like that. If you want to give $7,000 to something, let's make things happen for white well-being. But I get that you just loathe him so much. These pompous anti-white pricks. I have faced off with pompous anti-white pedantic pricks so many times, and I leave them in a sniveling pool of their own shit and piss, embarrassed, and then lying that they had ever talked to me. I never talked to him. What do you mean? All right. Oh, we have a financial gift from Calypso himself, a great champion. This guy does so much. You got to get, even this guy gives $1. It's $1 on top of much more. This guy is munificent, time, talent, and money, and brains. Magnificent gentleman. God bless you, brother. He just financially gifted $10. The great No White Guilt clips, raucous emojis, stiff salutes for this guy. Well done, bro. Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to, we need somebody about my height, and we'll put No White Guilt clips on our shoulders. We'll carry his ass around. We'll do that all day long. Everybody who deserves it. Light of the Twin Lamps. Light of the Twin Lamps. You should, when I get on that microphone in my sound studio, I've got to get a photograph of, as soon as it's really up and I'm recording and with no more issues and everything's good, I'm going to get some photos of the inside, because it's kind of cool. It's like where magic is happening. But I tell you what, when I turn the system on and everything's working, I could hear like a hair growing on me. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so Light of the Twin Lamps says, I was having some fun in it earlier. Not that kind of fun. Come on, don't be so dirty. I almost just said something every bit as that dirty. Light of the Twin Lamps has said, has No White Guilt been in contact with Modern Day Debate? Is that a channel? Is that a person? So I don't know who they are, but I will speak to Modern Day Debate, and if they're interested, or he or she is interested. If it's a she, she will undoubtedly be interested. Sometimes he's as well, but definitely a she. Let's see. Johan Harry. The AWs are already calling, the anti-whites are already calling St. Patrick's Day white supremacy. Yeah, you could see this writing. Thank you for that. You can see the writing on the wall. when it comes to our celebrations, like Columbus Day. Like, I mean, I've been speaking about this for so long. I can remember giving, I probably included, because I can't see why I wouldn't have, St. Patrick's Day. I gave a speech years ago to a tiny group of folks that showed up. And people just don't like to hear about methods that involve you working. So they don't show up for that. When they can show up and you don't have to do, when you folks can show up and they don't have to do anything, and the guy up in front says, "We're doing it, we're winning, you guys are amazing, now give me some more money and celebrate my intelligence," people will show up for that shit like you wouldn't believe. But when you're like, "Okay, this is what we have to do, are you doing it?" They're like, "I've got, my wife told me I have to go pick up the kids." It's just always something. But I talked about this, that all of that's going to be demonized. And probably many of you did the same. And, folks in the AP class, they get it, right? And so you can see what's going to happen. They'll say St. Patrick's Day is heretical to anti-whiteism under various anti-white slurs. And then white people who are not practicing the method of go free, they will attempt inside that anti-white narrative to appease the anti-whites by doing what? See, we all can see this writing on the wall. Isn't it great to be in the AP class? They will then reach out and they'll say, "No, look at how dark his skin is. He's got a green hat on today. He's an Irishman today. So this should be okay, right?" No, dum-dum, it's not okay. Now, but we have to be nice to these people. We have to get them to go free. We have to reach out our hands and say, "Look, you got to stop looking at the world from inside the anti-white narrative. Never gets good for you there." And no, it won't matter how many non-white people you have show up at your St. Patrick's Day party. It won't matter if you follow Murray or Peterson's suggestions or orders that you disavow that St. Patrick's Day has anything to do with white. We didn't create it. We had nothing to do with it, so that anti-whites won't attack it and white erase it. Then none of that will matter. They're coming for you, white man, white woman, white child. They're coming. If you're a Westman, which means man, woman, or child that are white, they're coming for you and what you project. So there's no amount of black people. You can say the whole parade is non-white for St. Patty's. Look at all of the clovers they're wearing. He's not black or brown or what all the different colors that they give to humanity. He's none of that. He's green, just like me. Golly gee. No, he's stupid, just like you probably. Or he's probably smarter than you, because you're probably paying for everything just for him to be there, all the free drinks and everything else. So he's smarter than you are. Franklin says Appaloosa. Appaloosa for our fundraiser, so we can get some advertising up on Gab. Not a bad idea. Thank you for jumping in, brother. If anybody else had any ideas and you didn't tag me, like the brilliant Franklin, who knows how to follow instructions. I met Franklin in person. This is a stand-up guy right here in Northern Virginia, outside Washington, D.C. Art Acrobat says, "I scream live stream." Some folks might scream when they hear what happened, what regrettably Kate was privy to on the phone. They might scream. I'm just saying. Popcorn Power guessed singing? You mean, are you guessing singing for what she heard on the phone that she should not have heard? No. Boy, it would be fine for her to hear singing. I will show off my dad level singing, no problem. It's not that. It's much worse. Yes, we're gonna start something here. Folks will be wondering, what could it be? So Jason was driving down the road, and you know what I wanted to show you all? I got the light out. It's a good thing we're hanging out. So this is a bit of a preview of what it'll be like when we're just. This is the great Reptiles, one of his great creations. Now there you see it's just not really much, and then you go like this. Let's see if this light, it might not be strong enough. Oh, this light isn't strong enough. Darn it. I'll have another lamp far more powerful than that to light it up. See, the universe is in there. Vedya from Prometheus Rising. It's magnificent. Ursa Major, great to see you. Ursa Major says, please don't do that. Don't do what? What did I say? Light of the Twin Lamps. Have you contacted? Oh, did you put this up? Could help with visibility. Seeing you win debates. I will go on to humiliate people because they won't really be just debates, because the people hold a different morality and a different objective, so you can't have a debate. You're ultimately you're saying in those scenarios, my morality and my objective is better than yours, and you can't. I didn't turn off the mic, did I? Was I throwing? No. Was I throwing electricity earlier? That happens from time to time, but looks like we're okay. Roy says, I'm pretty much running in and out, packing and already loading a few things into the truck. Have fun, brother. Have fun. Have fun with everybody down there. The screen has leapt a couple. Art Acrobats, call your fundraiser ice cream live stream. Bass Guitarist is with us. Great to see you, good brother. More 357 says, I want you to debate Destiny and knock him down a few pegs. It would be my pleasure. I doubt he would. Again, it wouldn't really be a debate. It would be me pointing out how wretched of a human being he is, and then him trying to act smug, but me nonetheless demonstrating how gelded and anti-white he is. But if you have do you have a video of him where he's maybe debating somebody else that I can review? Folks seem to like that. I could easily do that and mop the floor with him pretty good. And of course he would find out, and then he would go, what's everybody saying now? Seethe. He would go seethe somewhere. And then he would cope by saying that he had never seen it, and that I am some sort of insert the anti-white slur. That's how they handle things. It's a YouTube channel that hosts debates. A lot of prominent YouTubers like Vaush, trust me, they'll let you speak. Christian dude with PhD in psychology runs it. I'll have to look that up. Thank you for that. Let me just grab it from up there when you first named it, and I will then check it out. Let me make sure we didn't miss anything over here. Modern day debate. Oops. All right. About to roll out of here, but we'll see. No, it looks like I've never seen them before, and thank you for mentioning them. Victorian Time Traveler says, I remember singing Come Out Ye Black and Tans with my friends, and it angering non-white people. We thought it was hilarious. Wow. I bet. Now I'll have to learn the lyrics. And we'll have to put like a warning on the screen for the anti-whites who will want to report the stream. Promethean Promulgation says, was the thing that happened a kestrel taking a mockingbird out of the air? No, the thing, they're two separate incidents. Going to the gym with Kate and seeing the groundhog and the mockingbird Won't say more than that about it. And might have video, might have photos. We'll see. And then the time in the car, I'm driving, I'm on the phone with Kate, and something happened that she was not supposed to hear, and I didn't think she could hear. You won't know. It will be shocking to you. It will be shocking. Pants Monster says, Keck. Now, is that for the TVs or is that the laughter? Nick says, Jason would serve Destiny like a Chick-fil-A, etc. sandwich with pleasure. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to have a conversation with me if you're actually intellectually honest, and even if you want an anti-white objective, then I can have a very polite conversation with you and say, okay, you want this anti-white objective that harms my people and harms Western civilization. Okay. And we know where the cards are. I'm going to stop you. You know where I am. I know where you are. Never the two shall meet, except in metaphorical combat. And yes, Pants is confirming that Keck, he's using it there as the LOL form. But if somebody shows up and they want to act like, I have this moral opinion and I just want to do this for everyone's and whatever it is, you're not going to be able to have that conversation with me. I'm going to just go through that like a wood chipper through your saplings. I'll just make a mess of that in a moment. So he can talk about philosophers. He can talk about history. He could talk about abstractions. He could talk about any of that stuff. And if he's trying to conceal an anti-white objective with all that garbage, I'll just go right through it, right to the outcome of his ideas, his objectives, his beliefs, his suggestions, whatever it is. And then I will put him on the spot and say, all right, now, do you still want that? Do you still hold that position, even though I just demonstrated we have these anti-white outcomes? And if he says, yes, I'm still for it because I think it's right or whatever, then I say, okay, you're an anti-white. No, you can either own it that you're anti-white, or you can be a coward and continue to act like you're not anti-white, that you're really like this T-junk anti-white, that you're a classical liberal, or that you're a communist, or that you're a Marxist, or whatever it is that you think you are, or woke, or whatever it is that you think you are. But we know that you're anti-white. You can call yourself whatever you want. I don't care, because I'm gonna understand and know you as an anti-white if that's what your ideas and plans and objectives and desires and actions lead to. It's that simple. Very difficult to win a debate with somebody who is just keeping their eye on the ball the entire time, as they say. All right, folks. Tim is asking, does Ethan Ralph host debates? We reviewed one a little while back. Mark was on, and then did he do any others? He probably did. Like, he did a whole day, I think, of debating. Some bigger names and some smaller names. But I don't know what they do regularly over there on Cozy TV. Is he always on Cozy TV, or is he elsewhere as well? I don't know. You all can tell me. Think about it, though. Tomorrow might be a tap. Hope it is. And we'll have a wonderful guest if we are on, I think. And then Saturday, I don't know if I'll stream on Saturday, maybe. But I do want to head over to that karaoke for the GFCs with Mr. V and everybody. I'll be there to watch the first time. Everybody else get on stage. I'm interested in the fun. What time is that? 6 p.m. Eastern, I think. And so might stream, might not. And then, of course, Sunday, normal going free stream on Sunday, starting at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then we will, over the totality, it'll be a fundraiser, though. But after the first 4 hours, we'll see. We'll see how long we go. We go long enough You'll get to hear first the story of the gym and the animals, and then a little bit longer, maybe the story of the phone in the car, which will be shocking to some. Some might scream. We'll see. And who knows what else we could share. But I think that's about it. I think we haven't missed anybody. Yeah? Pants is saying, how was your day? My day is awesome. My day is really awesome. I've been thinking about Dice telling folks, we need to make this viral. It's not just him saying it. He's telling millions, we need to make it viral. And that just goes by folks who don't know how you really are succeed today. It just misses them completely, or they miss it completely. It is like howitzers going off to those who understand. It is absolute howitzers going off. These people now who are just like, whatever you do, don't talk about you. Don't talk about that white positive group over there. Just look over here. We have some people talking about whatever, right? Those folks, trust me, when each step of the way, as the concepts that we're pushing and the change that we're making reaches more and greater circles and spheres in society, and not just the United States, not just the English-speaking world. Like people want to talk about. They try to disclaim my and our success for anti-white. It is disgusting. They try to devalue it. Rather, they try to devalue. Truly disgusting to do that. Characterless as all hell. And then they say nothing about the fact that we've, with anti-white, reached beyond the English-speaking world. Oh my gosh. But make no mistake, everybody that's busily ignoring as hard as they can, it's their cope, is what it is. They're coping big time by ignoring. They're turning their head all the way around. Make no mistake. In no time at all, this concept and that concept will be in societal use, and then they'll be attempting to claim that we had nothing to do with it. That's the real sign of shitty people. Just know that. That's the real sign of shitty, awful people. Light of the... It is their cope. Jerome says it's their cope. It is their cope to claim that we're not doing the two big ways: ignoring us with a massive, colossal success. Think about, there are still plenty of content creators out there, not nearly as many as there were before the anti-whites decided to really cut things down with the ADL, but and whoever else was involved. But still so many out there. They don't say anything about our successes. They're not going to be talking about Mark Dice. They're not going to be talking about the others. They're not going to be talking about when I say, hey, in so many days, this, and then nothing. They're not going to be talking about it. Just be ignoring all of that. Actual successes, remember, these are actual changes in the world. I'm not looking out into the world. We're not looking out into the world and saying something happened that we have no power to influence, right? Like, a decision was made for a particular law or a particular bill or an invasion or the pulling out of a country or another country doing something. We have no power to influence, and then celebrating it as though it's ours. We're not doing that, right? That happens in other communities. Big time. Big time. They'll say, yeah, we did it. We're making a difference. And they have done nothing at all. So we're actually doing things in society, making a difference in society, and folks know the difference. You know, they're not sitting there in front of their microphones or over top of their keyboards and saying, I'm really confused about whether or not you're doing something when you get your concepts spoken by a wider and wider circle of increasingly powerful and popular folks that would never come near the white sympathetic sphere. But you're not doing something then, but you are doing something when Trump decided to have less to do with an invasion in this country or that country, or Trump pulled troops out of here or there, and then they celebrate that as their victory. That is childish, and that is what charlatan does to continue to bilk the followers. But nothing said about the real changes that we're making in the world. But yeah, it's their cope to, Jerome, number one, ignore what we're doing, just say nothing about us, just kill us with silence. And number two, then their cope is, once it's so much in their face that it can't be resisted, so many of their followers, so many of their readers, so many of their audience is saying the things or acknowledging the things, then they say, oh, well, they never had anything to do with it. If I did not have video of lots of videos of, and I'm not going to bring it up again because I don't want to start stuff, but I do want credit for what we're doing so that more people can come and do it with us, right? But I had videos, what did I have, like 5-6 videos of an evolution of how I created the name for a particular day in history. If I did not spend all those hours going back, finding each of those videos so that I could show the timeline of how I created this name, that name would have been just taken. And there would have been a big audience that would have said, oh no, this other person, that's another cope, isn't it? So yeah, it's just one after the other. Light of the Twin Lamps asks about, do you see parallels there between contemporary and other times? Of course, but there are also major differences. And the problem with and I'm not saying you're doing it, but I'll just say this and I'll get out of here so I can get back to, I got a bunch of things to do for white well-being. All right. There's a big fallacy and a big pitfall. Oh, I have, is this new? Yeah, we have a $1 financial gift from a hero over there on Odyssey, White Well-Being Advocates. Should I do like the whispering thing? We can do like the ASMR. Is that what it is? White Well-Being Advocates financially gifts $1. He says, just purchased Born Guilty off your website. Awesome, brother. Yeah, man, I'll absolutely be signing that for you. That's fantastic. Thank you for that. It's a big book, but you're going to have fun. Over 200 illustrations in there. It's really awesome. But there's a problem, though, when people do this. Look back at history, look at a phenomenon, and the fallacy is, the pitfall there is that you look at the time where you see some similarities, and then you believe erroneously that what overcame that issue then could be used currently to overcome a similar issue, or an issue that shows external or superficial or profound similarities. It's human dynamism is so infinite, and the differences between different ages are so magnificent. Understanding even periods in history and the people that compose those periods, impossible, absolutely impossible. You can't understand, for example, I mean, this is just, I'm just laying this out, not for you. I'm not saying you do this, brother, but you can't understand Americans' views on even your own view on something, your own perspective of the world 20 years ago, right? If you could go back and talk to yourself 20 years ago, people have had the uncanny experience of, as we have had more and more generations of people born, and my argument here that I'm making has gained more and more legitimacy as these folks born in a world where there are video cameras from when they are just babies, good video cameras from when they're babies. Everybody's got them. They're videotaping everything. And they have videos of themselves at earlier periods in life. And they say, I don't even know who that person is. I can't even, I look at it and I'm like, it's another person. It's a completely different. I can't believe that I was saying those things. I can't believe that I saw the world like that. So my argument, which has been this way forever, because I just use reason and logic to understand things, is I guess everybody has talents, and that's one of mine. So I was able to put that together, is being validated by all these people who are looking back and saying, I can't even believe that was me. I can't believe that I thought that way or said those things or saw things that way. So if you can't even understand yourself from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, if you don't have a video to kind of remind you how you saw the world and what was really going on then, you look up those, there are all those adverts for advertisements where you can buy like a newspaper that was being printed like when you were 5 or something, or 10, and you can look back and see, oh, I remember this, and everything is all like alien. If you can't do that with your own life, thinking you can do that for another country far further away and another time and place, totally impossible. You have no idea. You have no idea. So you're not going to be able to understand the folks, what was happening. You can understand broad genetic instinctual things, biospiritual things about our people. That you can understand because that persists from generation to generation. But all of the other dynamics and the human dynamism is just impossible to contemplate. So it's when to know when people talk about, they have these great this great wealth of knowledge of different historical periods, and it's a wonderful thing. Got to hop off here. It's a wonderful thing, but they're sharing and they say, well, it was this way, and so I think we should do X, Y, and Z. It is, to my ears, it's like listening to children fantasize about Puff the Magic Dragon. I mean, there's just nothing there. There's nothing there of any value to me. And it's the problem that we talked about recently, I hadn't really talked about before, which is that men think memorization is intelligence. They confuse memorizing and the sharing of what you have memorized as thinking, and it's simply not thinking. Just like there are a lot of women out there, not all, as well, that confuse emotions with thinking. So it's a shame. It's a reality. I mean, we have to let folks know that memorizing a bunch of things and then sharing them is not a demonstration of intelligence or thinking. It's a demonstration of memory, and that's great. I mean, there are these, if you want to see a real demonstration of memory, you watch these competitions and learn about the mnemonic devices that some of them use. A lot of them come with a lot of genetic potential for memorization, but they also have mnemonic devices, and they can memorize like 8 decks of cards at once. If you want to see something that will really impress you, there you have it. But so are there similarities to the anti-whiteism taking place at another period in history? Yeah. Yep. And there's nothing more we can know than that. That's a bit of a pet peeve for me, because as you might imagine, I've had a lot of arguments over the years with people who wanted to say this was happening then and that's what they did, so that's what we have to do now. Or this was happening then and that's what they did, so we just have to give like a little tweak on this and that they did, and that's what we do now. No, not even remotely the same. And I would go down the lists of all the differences between people in that period and people now, and what we can know about them now, what we know about our people now, the different measures of control that were exercised then versus the measures of control that are exercised now. There isn't any similarity there whatsoever. This is total psychological warfare. And so nothing has defeated this yet. Nothing. And so until we have this is the only thing, the method of go free, this practice, is the only thing that overcomes the psychological warfare that the anti-whites implement against us. The bottom line is, and I think I need to do a whole roll-in about this, the bottom line is that we have to, the objective of what we're doing, what ultimately is happening in with the method of Go Free, is that when people implement this practice, they gain the moral imperative in their interactions. Their first interaction with their subconscious mind, which is where all the infections are located, and then for them personally, and then their interactions with those outside of them, family members, friends, coworkers, whatever it might be. So they gain the moral imperative in those conversations. And when you gain the moral imperative as a white person, you win the conversation. That is, and when you win the conversation, those concepts become a curative contagion, because other people will gladly take those concepts, those tools to use in their lives. They want to win. They'll take those concepts to use in their lives, and then they'll use them. And this is how, instead of this really childish idea that was possible before this revolution of communication, I mean, the internet and this peer-to-peer communication is who knows how many times more significant than the printing press. And look at what the printing press did to the world. So if you look at people who prior or after the printing press, like say right after the printing press, wanted to do X, Y, or Z by way of the methods of prior to the printing press, you would look at them like, like they're looking in a rearview mirror, if you wanted to be nice. Otherwise, you would just say, look, that inanity is going to cause you to end up to be taken out of the gene pool, because that is really something special. So the same thing's happening now, except it's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of times more significant, the peer-to-peer communication. People are trying to build like little armies. They want to build like a little political party army, or they want, or a little quasi sort of a same sort of a thing, and then that marches and gets bigger and bigger. My God. It is difficult. It is sometimes to think about trying to explain the complexities of the context in which we strive to recapture our destiny to people who are viewing the world like that. It's so daunting. I don't know what to say. But yeah, we're not going to be able, those methods are so outdated, so hackneyed, so shop-worn, so threadbare, that the anti-whites in charge, they just must look on and laugh their asses off. They just must think, they really must think like we're cockroaches. If that's how we're approaching the modern era, the one we are trapped in after this revolution of peer-to-peer communication, and that's how we think we're going to make change, they really must think we're cockroaches. Well, we're not cockroaches here. We know exactly what's going on, and we know exactly how to make a change in the world. We won't take over the CEO of this business or that business or this politician, state level, national level, whatever it might be, by way of an army of sorts that has a big old flag and that marches down the street. Maybe whatever it might be. Not saying that there can't be anything, not saying there can't be parades or anything of this nature. You follow me though. That's not how we're not gonna come banging on the window and say, for the vast majority of people we need to win over, we're not gonna come like banging on the window and say, you're gonna do this, or it's curtains for you, Mac. No, we're going to reach these folks where they are with concepts that either they will adopt or those will adopt around them, that create a moral imperative, another story, a competing story and therefore confusion and allegiances, and the allegiances reveal greater and greater divides between what truly is beneficial and what truly is anti-white and harmful. So you're not going to, the old method is you pull all the CEOs and presidents out of their places of power, all the wealthy out of their homes of power, and then you execute them, and then you put new presidents and new prime ministers and new in after you have, well, the blood is still on the floor, new CEOs, blood still on the floor. No, it can't work that way ever again, at least as far as our lives are concerned. No, we will get to them in a way that they don't see coming, in a new story that envelops them where they are. Folks who are already the CEOs, folks who are already in positions of, folks who already have billions or millions or whatever it is. That is the battlefield of today. And the reality is, regrettably, that there are just too few of us who get to see it. But on that note, folks, has been another wonderful Going Free roll-in. And we will end on Tim's magnificent video. So see you soon. Roll out.